The Celtics are eliminated in 7 in blowout fashion after coming back from down 3-0 to be the fourth team ever to even it up to 3-3. And then they just got the doors blown out. There was an issue with Tatum very early into that game where apparently there was a leg injury or something. Nonetheless, they still shouldn't have gotten blown out like that. Jaylen Brown had like 8 turnovers. Role players like Al Horford didn't step up. And now, you get to the question that's been being asked the entire year. Are they going to bring back Jaylen Brown, or are they going to package him in some sort of trade? Because obviously, as we know, if you keep him on for one more year, he's eligible for like what would be like a 250, I believe even more, $1 million extension because he was second team All NBA. And, I've went back and forth on it a lot on what I think they should do, who they should get, and or if they should keep him or not, like just in general. I've went back and forth on it. And, I really think that at first my consensus was, at this point, build around Tatum, get rid of Jaylen Brown. He's replaceable. Then you really look at it, and I don't know that, you can build all the way around Tatum. Because I don't know who you're going to get that's better than Jaylen Brown. I don't know what you're going to get that's better than the core three of this roster. I don't see a package out there. I really don't see a package out there where they could get more than like what Jaylen Brown can give on certain nights. His problem is he disappears sometimes. Tatum has the same issue. Like there's games where you don't really know who the true star is on that team. But, I really took a look at the Eastern Conference and teams in it. And if you're really looking at it, if you keep Jaylen Brown, there's not that much competition there. Not as much as we thought going into this postseason. Going into this postseason, we were like, well, Milwaukee's a force. Cleveland might be a force. The Sixers are a force. A lot of them have similar problems. Boston's on the higher end of it. And if you want to get back to the championship, I think you got to keep him. I think you got to keep him, and you just got to pay him at this point. And you know what? If you pay him, down the line, you could still trade the guy. Like, we're acting as if, like, if they don't pay him this money, and we're acting as if they can't pay him this money. They can definitely pay him this money. What you got to do with this roster, in my opinion, is you got to pay Jaylen Brown at this point, because I don't know what else in value you're going to get. If somebody else, like I've looked at the scenarios and I don't see a better result from trading him. Celtics need Jaylen Brown. If Tatum was, a little bit more consistent, I don't know if you need him, but you need him to get to the finals to win that title. I think you just got to you just got to get rid of probably Al Horford. I'd get rid of him. Maybe switch around the bench a little bit. Some of those players weren't really doing much. You could probably trade Robert Williams. He's a good defender. I don't think he gives you much on the offensive end. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think Jaylen Brown's a guy that, I would keep just because if you want to win a title, I think you're going to regress substantially if you trade him. I mean, if you look at like history of breaking up young tandems early, it does not look too good. And I'm not saying this is OKC from the early days, but it's kind of starting to look a little bit more like it. Think about it. I know they're a bit older, but Oklahoma City, back in the day, went to one finals, and that was it. Broke it up. What happens if Jaylen Brown leaves this Celtics team, as Harden did, and becomes an MVP? It'd be devastating. It'd be absolutely devastating. That's what this team, an older version of it, but that's kind of what this team reminds me of. One finals appearance, a loss to a juggernaut of a team, and then they broke it up. I think they got to keep it together at this point. And I'm the biggest guy that says you got to break things up, but this is looking like they got to keep this together. I'd work around it. You're gonna have a lot less money once you pay him, but you can, if you pay two-star player, you can be top heavy and win a title. The Lakers in 2020 were very top heavy, still won a title. Didn't pay the guys around the top heavy guys that much money. It can be done. But I mean, Tatum's got to put in the work, Jaylen Brown's got to put in the work, and they got to be more consistent in the postseason.